Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Манисом Фридманом, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник, а во вторника мы всегда говорим «Thank God it's Tuesday», вот примерно в это время, потому что в это время чуть раньше, чуть позже, но все равно в эфир выходит передача «Thank God it's Tuesday» с раввином Манисом Фридманом, и мы говорим о самых волнующих нас вещах, которые происходят сейчас непосредственно в этом мире, и мы пытаемся в них увидеть все самое позитивное, как вообще жить в наше время, как оставаться позитивным, светлым и желающим жить счастливой жизнью человеком. И вопрос, который мы обратим сегодня к раввину Манису Фридману, это вот сейчас мы больше всего слышим такое: «Я тебе говорил, вот я был прав, все, что было, вот я все 4 года давал правильные предсказания обо всем, что происходит в этом мире, а вот сейчас все абсолютно вот подтверждается. Я был прав, я была права». И вот вопрос, почему нам так важно быть правыми, и имеет ли это какие-то, может ли оно иметь какие-то негативные последствия, вот, и как вообще лучше себя вести в такой ситуации, прав ты или не прав, имеет ли об этом громко заявлять, или, может быть, есть какой-то лучший путь оставаться правым и чтобы не было еще и последствий после этого. Вот с этим вопросом мы обращаемся сейчас же к раввину Манису Фридману. Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello, thank God it's Tuesday, and so thrilled to have you with us again this week on Tuesday. Looking forward to this time with you every single week. And the question is, we're living in a time where things are being revealed, certain things are being whatever we thought for the last 3-4 years are coming true. And it's everybody's favorite statement at this time is, "I told you so." Everybody is trying to point out this day and age that I was right. I told you so, I was right. Does this position have consequences? Is there a better way to see that we are right and act accordingly? What is the best way to be right? What is the best behavior?
How can you be right without causing damage?
Yes.
It's not that who is right, it's what is right. What is right is the prophecy in the Midrash that says that there will come a time when the Arab king and the Persian kings will be at war, which is happening right now, and it'll involve the whole world, and everybody will panic. It's exactly what it says. The Jews will panic, and God says to the Jewish people, "My children, why are you panicking? All that is happening is for your benefit." So the world is going crazy. There's no question about that. You don't know from minute to minute what's going to happen next. But one thing we know for sure, it's going to be good for the Jews. That's a change, because throughout most of history, whatever happens, it's always bad for the Jews. It's always like, uh-oh, here comes again. No, this time, all the chaos and all the craziness is all for our benefit. To know that is very, very helpful. Doesn't do any damage whatsoever. So it's not who is right, it's what's right. In emotions, it's the who and not the what. But in politics and world affairs, in morality, it's the what, not the who. So people ask me, like, they don't know the expression, where it came from. They have, are you kosher? Am I kosher? I'm not even part of the food chain. So, is it kosher? That's really what you're asking. You're about to eat something. Is it kosher? Not am I kosher? Is it right or is it wrong? Not am I right? Because the whole point is, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be right. So the question is it right? If it's about me, it's already not right. But it's true. People are saying, we were accused of having conspiracy theories, and it turns out it was all correct. It was correct. It's nice to have been on the right side of correctness. But don't take credit for yourself. Take credit for it. That's the difference between arrogance and humility. The arrogant person, wherever he can take credit, he jumps for the credit. A humble person, if it's not necessarily my doing, then I don't take credit.
The world is not very humble at the moment.
Yeah. A big part of humility comes from certainty. When you're not certain, your ego becomes very defensive. So when you become very defensive about your opinion, it shows that you're not very confident. The ego responds to danger, threat, because it's all self-defense. So if you feel like your position or your opinion is questionable, then you have to defend it. So you have to protest any disagreement, any questioning, any doubts. But if you're confident, your ego is not at stake. So it doesn't disturb you. So knowing that the Torah says that this is going to happen and seeing it happen and then being told that it's all for our benefit, that's very, very concrete. We know for sure. This is all going to be great for a change in our history and in our mazel. We're going to start having some good news for a change.
Rabbi Friedman, do you mind elaborating a little bit more on that? Because again, by the way, I got to tell you, it's my favorite thing to say to people. Rabbi Friedman was right. Rabbi Friedman was right about everything. Is that not good either?
There's freedom of speech. I can't control what you say.
Point well taken. Thank you. But can you please elaborate? Because you do see something that I don't think the rest of us see quite yet. We see that there are terrific plans for Gaza, but they seem to be material at the moment. They don't seem to be, and not necessarily for the Jews, for the world, obviously cleaning up that part of the world is a nice plan, and making it beautiful as it should be is a great plan. So far, we hear that the United States is going to own it. Yet, well, I don't know. That seems to be Trump's plan at the moment.
And there are people who say, it's such a brilliant, genius plan. It's so good. It's so wonderful. It's so silly. Israel fights a war, not just since October 7th, since 1948. And every time it wins, or seems to win, we manage to ruin it, at least in the PR field. How does it make sense? Israel goes to war, loses many, many lives and many, many wounded, and this displacement. People can't be at home, people can't live in their houses. And you know what the solution is? That this land that we fought for and died for should belong to the United States. What a brilliant idea. What are you even talking about? What did America do to deserve owning? It's so smart people are complimenting it as a brilliant plan. Oh, the brilliant part is you can't let those who live there come back. They're saying it's for their own benefit. Don't come back, it's dangerous, there are booby traps. No, you can't come back because we don't want you there anymore. You proved yourself to be a bad neighbor, and we don't want to be neighbors with you anymore, so you're out. That's what happens when you start a war. So the only sensible, logical thing that most intelligent, normal human beings assume is going to happen is that now Gaza is going to belong to Israel, which it should have been in the first place. So the brilliance is no more negotiating with Gazans and with Palestinians and with Hamases. They're indistinguishable. You never know who you're talking to. So it makes no sense to let them come back, because they'll just do again what they did before. And it's not genocide and it's not ethnic cleansing. It's a war. You lose a war, you go away. I think that's what's going to happen. Because it should happen. It's the only right thing.
So is this a part of PR to get to the final step, to the final point that should be a right final step, meaning Gaza belongs to Israel? And
in Europe, it was the danger lurked everywhere, and it was very, very common that you could not be a citizen of one country over another, so you had to lie about your citizenship. You had to have false papers because the truth was too dangerous. Not only that, you had to have been born before a certain year or after a certain year, so you couldn't even tell your true age. You had to lie about your age, and you had to lie about your citizenship. You had to lie about your profession. Everything was complicated. So the joke is, these two Jews came to Ellis Island, finally, eventually, and they're whispering to each other, what age should I tell them? This one says this, or older, younger. Finally, somebody said, you know what? Tell them the truth. The war is over. We have this habit. We're afraid to say the truth. We think we have to outwit the enemy. If you beat them up, you don't have to outwit them. Now you can tell the truth. Now what are you afraid of? You beat them up already. So Jews having an army is very confusing. You mean we have to stop all the mind games and the role playing? We can just tell the truth? It's something to get used to. We're not used to it. We need to tell the truth. It's our land. It belongs to us. It's an inheritance. I can't give it away. I should never have given it away. I should never have even talked about giving it away. So let's just clear the air. It's our land. Go someplace else. That's it. And that's exactly what will happen, because that's the truth.
Rabbi Friedman, two questions totally not related. About being right and telling the truth or seeing the truth. I think it's important for people for the confidence factor, because when someone sees things clearly, and that's kind of, it's a trust factor right there. If a person is right most of the time, all of the time, then you can trust that person. And I think that is the most important thing why people are trying to kind of, I think when people are trying to say, I was right, trust me, I was right, trust me. But is that the right way to go about it? Because right now we see that, this is kind of a way that Trump is getting all the trust and confidence, because he's been telling us whatever he's been telling us for the last more than 4 years. Even he started during his first presidency. So, and now the more we see him being right, the more we trust him, the more we know he's a smart man. So is that important? Is that a way to gain trust?
It does help. It does help. It confirms. It's not what makes you right, but it confirms. What I told you made sense. It sounds right. It sounds true. And it is, because it actually works. So the fact that it works is confirmation. But it was right to begin with. It was right in principle, and then it became right in fact. And if it's not right in fact yet, if the principle is true, it will eventually become the fact. That's how much confidence you have to have in what is true and what is right. When you come to the world, as corrupt as the world is, and you want to tell people the truth, do you have the confidence that human beings have a knack, some kind of an instinct that allows them to recognize the truth even when they can't prove it, explain it, but they know it. When they hear the truth, they know it. If you don't believe that, then all civilization is doomed. There is no hope. You go, the pendulum swings from extreme dictatorship to extreme democracy, which is anarchy. Then it swings back again, and in the meantime, people kill each other over. It's not going to work if you don't believe that there is a core of truth in everybody, and if you speak the truth, they will hear you. They will get it. I think we become a little cynical where, yeah, I know it's true, but nobody's going to believe me. If that's what you're thinking, then give up on civilization and let's go back to being cannibals. I don't know. Barbarians. Whoever is bigger and stronger wins. It's the way of the world. No, it's not true. It's definitely not true. Human beings are not animals. One of our talents, because we're very talented, one of our talents is we can make like animals. We can also make like angels. We have freedom of choice. But that doesn't mean that we don't know right from wrong. When we hear what's right, when we hear what's true, we get it. We don't maybe want to hear it. doesn't serve my purpose right now, so I'll ignore the truth, but it's not like I don't know. There are exceptions, but the vast majority of people, when they hear a truth, they respond with truth. Truth speaks to truth.
Rabbi Friedman, where I'm leading a little bit with this is for over 3,300 years, the Jewish people have been trying to tell the world about the ultimate truth. And it's taking a while. So it's a little discouraging of where we're at the moment.
That actually proves the point. Why were we muted by the world, to use a modern term? Why were we stifled? Why were we locked up in ghettos, quarantined by the world? Because they knew they would hear the truth and they were not ready to hear it. That just proves that if they hear the truth, they really can't deny it. So the solution is, don't let anybody say the truth. So they haven't allowed us. It's not like we told them and they didn't care. They prevented us from revealing or popularizing. So they didn't let their people read books. They didn't let them have any conversations with Jews. They were afraid of the truth. But that proves the point. Truth is a powerful thing. People can't really ignore it. So if they're going to fight it, they have to prevent it from ever coming up to the surface.
Rabbi Friedman, who are exactly they? And there seems to be a lot of them. Who are they?
There were far more than there are today. For example, fanatical religions who targeted the Jews as their number one enemy and either determined to annihilate or convert by force. Why? Why does a tiny fraction of the population scare the vast majority of people? See, I can understand that a little David can actually kill a very large Goliath. But I don't understand when Goliath is afraid of David. That's not part of the picture. The giant is never afraid of the little David, even after being beaten. He said, that was just an exception. But when the whole world, the Goliath, is afraid of a little tiny minority of people, what are they afraid of? So when Jews ask, why do they hate us? I'm not sure they hate us. Don't confuse your emotions. They're afraid of us. I guess you hate what you're afraid of, but it's fear, not hate. And I think the good proof of it is when the biggest anti-Semite gets to know a Jewish neighbor or a Jewish doctor, a Jewish friend, no problem. So it's not like they have a chronic, irresistible hatred. They're afraid or jealous. So either they're jealous that we have the truth, or they're afraid that we're going to tell everybody the truth, and then they're going to have to behave themselves. But now I think the world has shifted. The vast majority of people in the world want to hear the truth, and most of them want to hear it from a Jew. So the they terrorist group is not the same as an empire. Now, when the Roman Empire was busy persecuting Jews, along with everybody else, that was a lot of people. Now it's a terrorist group. It's a very big difference. We're much, much better off. The world has become much better. Life has become better. The planet has become better. Not the airports, but every place else.
And all of this took place in the last 3 weeks, I think, pretty much. Well, visibly so.
Yeah, it keeps moving in the right direction.
Rabbi Friedman, the second question. You said that it's very visible that it's better, that the life is becoming better for the Jewish people. Again, you usually see something ahead of us a little bit, or maybe a lot, I don't know. But where do we look to see that it is becoming better? Because I had friends visiting Israel very recently who came and said that Israel is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and that the emotional, spiritual levels of the Jewish people in Israel is not so terrific. So where do we look to see that things are getting better for us?
I guess perception is everything. It depends what you look at. If you look at Israel in terms of politics, it's a terrible mess. Horrible, horrible, horrible. They're agreeing to the ceasefire, one of the biggest mistakes Israel has ever made. That's politics. But look at the streets. Look at the people. This woman who was released last week, Berger, in captivity, under the thumb of the terrorists, she became Shomer Shabbos. Who does that? She refused to eat the meat. She never kept kosher before. She found a siddur, amazingly, miraculously, and she read from it. And when they gave her a gift as they were letting her go, they gave her a gift of a Koran, she refused to touch it. Where do you get such dignity? Where do you get such strength? I have no doubt that her captives were highly impressed by her. It opened their eyes, and they realized Jews have something more godly than jihad. What a revelation. So she's not the only one. The people who are expressing their faith and their devotion and their commitment, you would think it would go the other way. After the Holocaust, everybody said God is dead. And after October 7th, everybody wants tefillin and tzitzis, singing Am Yisrael Chai, dancing with their kippah. What a different reaction. What a different response. So, we've talked about this for 4 years already. The polarization of the truth and the false. That's a very healing process. The more polarized they become, the healthier the world becomes. Because the worst thing is the tree of knowledge, which is a mixture of good and evil. Either be good or be evil. The mixture is terrible. that in every good there's a little evil, and in every evil you'll find a little good, that makes you crazy. You got to be a genius to be able to keep all this, sorted out in your head and not hate the wrong person and not love the wrong person. So the polarization makes it much clearer. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Good is good, bad is bad. It's a welcome change. The evil is not trying to appear good, which is scary, but a very positive development. Now, if the good would stop apologizing as if they're not sure they're good, we could make some giant steps towards real, and I'm going to call it peace. That's another horrible mess, a web that we got ourselves into. The word peace. Now we talk about how everybody worships love, and love is not that important and is never that great, and it's just a Hollywood production. Same is true with peace. Do I want peace with the Arabs? No. You have an enemy, a mortal enemy, and you say, you know what, I really would like to love him. Don't be crazy. That's insane talk. You are so far from love. There's so many steps in between that need to happen before there can even be a thought of. So do I want peace with no. No. After they're defeated and they stop being a threat, when you defang them, then you can talk about peace. But when they're your enemy, aren't there a few steps before you get to love them and be their best friend? So the word peace makes everybody feel so guilty and so confused. No, we shouldn't be fighting them. We should have peace. We will have peace as soon as we defeat them. That's what happens. That's how it works. If they're not defeated, why should they make peace? Why should you make peace? They're still shooting at you. It's frustratingly juvenile. And you hear it from people who should know better. Oh, that might affect the peace plan. There was never a peace plan because the rockets never stopped flying. You're talking about peace plan when I'm bleeding. Can you wait till I'm healed? Anyway, it's just absurd. So, and it's becoming more and more absurd for more and more people. That's the good news.
Rabbi Friedman, you said we're losing the PR war. Is the PR war very important? Because a little bit, and maybe I misunderstood, that I heard from our conversation today, is that it's possible that all the moves that are being made right now are trickers to get to the to the good stuff, to get to the rightful stuff, let's put it this way. So maybe all of this is just chess moves that will get us to the final destination. Do you feel like this has place today, this moments of trickery, this moments of or should we be very straight, direct forward, and not deviate and not use any kind of moves?
Yeah. But coming from Russia, it should be very clear. The reason communism survived 70 years is because they promised. It's a process. We have a move. We're going to make a move. And soon we're going to have checkmate. It didn't happen. And it wasn't going to happen. So Gorbachev said, you know what? Checkmate now. It's over. This trying to outwit the world, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Like say, we can use reverse psychology and get people. Why can't you just use normal psychology? Yeah, if a person is very, very disturbed, but you're talking to a whole world. Most of the people in the world can think. They don't need therapy. So tell them the truth. It's so much more effective. But when you say the truth, you have to say it with truth.
Can we handle the truth?
And for that, we need confidence. And again, so go back to your original question. Where does confidence come from? Confidence in myself? Or confidence in something bigger than me that I'm attached to, committed to, part of? Is every Jew a blessing to the world? Maybe not. But the Jewish people? Oh yeah. So every individual Jew should be proud to be a part of the Jewish people. Proud of himself? Yeah, for that you got to accomplish something. Yeah, you have to have something to show for yourself. I'm just listening to Jordan Peterson. Somebody asked him about, is Elon Musk wrong about whatever? He says, first of all, for you to think that you can find something wrong and correct Elon Musk is absurd. He is definitely much smarter than you. So watch what you're saying. Don't be ridiculous, in other words. You're talking about a crazy genius mind. Maybe he read a book or two more than you. So, as an individual, we don't know that much. We haven't done that much. But as a group, we have been only a blessing to the world in every way. So should you be confident as an individual? Well, it depends who. But as a member of a fantastic, ancient nation who brought only goodness to the world, you should be very proud, very confident. So the same is true with every issue. How kosher am I? But how kosher is my kitchen? That I can know for sure, that I can demonstrate, that can be checked and tested. How kosher am I? I mean, who's ever going to figure that out? So the confidence should be, we have a Torah. The Torah has guided us through impossible situations, and here we are, making trouble again, as if we've had a great life. So we have something very valuable that we can be very confident of. So when our sages, who molded our way of living and our way of life, if they said, the time will come when the world will be torn apart, polarized, over right and wrong, good and evil, blah, 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 you should know that all of it is for the benefit of Israel. Okay? I got you. I hear you. And I can say it with confidence.
We hear you, Rabbi Friedman. We all just heard you. And those words have so much light and so much promise and so much optimism that thank you so much. It'll definitely get us through the week. Hopefully longer.
If you want the evidence, is it a coincidence that the whole world is talking about Israel? Trump came into office and he's going to change everything. He's going to change everything. From the finances to the infrastructure to the swamp to the everything. He's going to buy Canada. He's going to buy Greenland, Iceland. He's playing Monopoly. But what do you hear every single day, 7 times a day on the news?
Israel.
That can't be a coincidence. And it's not a reasonable thing that you would expect. Yes, there's a problem in the Middle East. There's a problem in Russia. There's a problem in many, many countries. It doesn't get the attention that Israel gets. So you can say, oh, that's bad news. No, it's good news. Israel should be the center of attention, because all the solutions to the world are going to come from Israel and from the Jewish people. So it's perfectly correct that the focus should be on Israel. Just lower the tone a little bit. Whatever you say, don't say it so angry. Yes, you're right. The solution will come from Israel. What comes out of Israel? Torah. Mitzion Teitzei Torah. So the sooner we get around to that and tell the world what we know about God and about creation and about the future and about Mashiach, the healthier the world is going to be. So the evidence, the world is obsessed with Israel. It's got to tell you something. The fact that we keep making mistakes and chickening out in the last minute, okay, we'll have to get our act together. But it's been 2,000 years of abuse, it's not like we can cure this overnight.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Amen. May we get there as soon as possible. Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for all the light and clarity that you bring to us in all your projects. And I know you have a new project coming up. And everybody, it's 18 weeks of
18 days.
18 days? It's 18 days. I apologize. It's 18 days of
getting to know God.
Getting to know God. Well, there you go. There's the answer. And everybody can join. It's on itsgoodtoknow.org. So please join there. And I just want to give a big shout out to Beis Hana. That's a women's organization that you have created many, many years ago, which I take full advantage of, and so do all my friends. And it gives the incredible knowledge. It's just every single lesson gives us clarity and knowledge and brings us so much closer to God and help us spread it around, which is amazing. Thank you so much for all your projects, everything you do. It's goodtoknow.org, beishana.org, and just if you Google Rabbi Manus Fridman, you'll see how many projects there are, which are absolutely awesome. Rabbi Fridman, thank you again for everything that you do, and especially for this time that you allocate to our radio, to our community, to our Russian-speaking people.
I have a suggestion. You should buy up the domain Moshiach's microphone.
On it.
You are Moshiach's microphone.
Baruch Hashem. I can't get a better compliment than that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you very much. Ну а всех, кто нас сегодня слушал, большое вам спасибо. Спасибо, что вы есть. Спасибо, что вы стремитесь в себя получить свет, распространять его дальше. И это совершенно гениально, что мы можем это делать вместе. С этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, передача Thank God It's Tuesday с раввином Манисом Фридманом. Прощаемся со всеми до следующей недели.